Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to go over a leader that I am very excited for with the upcoming set, Critical Blow, and that is the new Gohan superhero leader. One of my favorite decks to play right now is the blue Gohan superhero deck. So when they announced they were making a red version, at first I was a little upset that we weren't getting support. But then I was like, oh, maybe they can work together with the blue and red. Maybe make some kind of invoker type deck. No, unfortunately, it is essentially you need to play it mono red in order to get the most bang for your buck here. So I've been testing it out a bit. I've proxied it out. I played a couple games with my brother and some friends. And right now, this is the list I'm kind of looking at right now. Of course, this is subject to change. Absolutely subject to change because, you know, who knows? Somebody's going to figure out some way to make this deck absolutely broken. And I just want to go over a little bit here. First of all, we have the leader, just a basic Son Gohan. When this card attacks, draw one. And the early awakening condition is if your life is at 4 or less, or your opponent has a red pan superhero card in play, you draw 2, then add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 left. First and foremost, a lot of people are going to say this is bad because it doesn't restand energy. To be honest, I haven't felt that problem, to be really, because the deck is so energy... what's the word I'm thinking of? Energy conservative? I don't know. It's very it's proficient. It's efficient with energy. So I don't think that's too big of a deal. Plus, if you're awakening while you're still at 8 life, you're going to essentially be drawing 4 cards when you awaken, which is amazing for any deck, especially red. On its awakened side, we have Son Gohan, Unfaltering Power. Now, one thing I will admit right off the bat is I love the fact that Dragon Ball has gone back to using like the bigger art for the leaders. I feel like they've gone away from this trend of using big art for your leader cards, and they brought it back with this upcoming set, except it's only on the front. A lot of leaders have a up close like big art, and then on their backside it's just small little leader with a lot of stuff going on in the background. I don't like that. I think that leaders need to be big and bold on their cards. This is a good first step. This card, the Goku and Vegeta, of the Vegito leader, those are just some examples. Goten, for example. I don't know. I just think they look better. On the backside, we have Son Gohan, Unfaltering Power. Auto, once per turn, when your red Son Gohan superhero or Piccolo superhero card attacks, draw 1. So it doesn't have to be your leader. It can be one of your battle cards, which you're running a lot of Piccolo and Gohan. That's pretty much most of what you're running in this deck. So the fact that your leader doesn't have to attack, that's neat. At the end of your turn, choose up to one of your red Piccolo superhero cards and switch it to active mode. So basically, you can swing with your almost all the Piccolos here. Sorry, all the Piccolos here are going to be blockers. So you can swing with them and then restand them at the end of turn. So that's really neat. Auto, once per turn. When a Piccolo Power Beyond Awakening activates a blocker skill or is removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill, that would be this card right over... Oh, I just realized that's not even in the frame. This card right here, Piccolo Power Beyond Awakening. At the end of your turn, add cards from your life to your hand until you have 4 left, and play up to 1 red Son Gohan superhero Z leader from your Z deck on top of this card. So incredibly easy awakening tech. It's really neat. The Z leader is great. Let's just go over some of the cards here. I'm running 3 copies of Super Saiyan Son Gohan and Pan, Strong Father and Daughter. It's a 24k blocker that costs 6, but you can play it for 1 if your leader is a Son Gohan superhero, red Son Gohan superhero, and you choose one of your or your opponent's red Pan superhero cards with a cost of 1 and add it to the owner's hand. Play this card. So it's essentially a 1-drop 24k blocker if you want. Now, of course, some people are probably asking, how do you get your opponent to have a red Pan superhero card in play? That is with the Z Battle card here. Battle with the Red Ribbon Army. or some people refer to it as Battle with the Cataracts. It's funny because I work at an eye clinic. If your leader is a red Son Gohan card, a red Son Gohan superhero card, and you have 2 or more energy. Now when this card is placed in a battle area, play up to 1 Super Saiyan Son Gohan All-Out Explosion from your deck. Play up to 1 red Pan superhero card with an energy cost of 1 from your deck to your opponent's battle area, then shuffle your deck. So, right off the bat, you get a 3-drop Super Saiyan Gohan card, 15k, Deflect, Unique, and Barrier. So it's completely protected. When this card is played, you drop 1 card. You get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards with a power of 15k or less and KO it. Or you can play it from your hand for 1 if your opponent has a red Pan superhero card in play. So, you get that. You get to move one of these 2 Pans over to your opponent's board from your deck, either Pan, A Glimpse of Strength, or Pan, Determined Young Girl. These cards cannot be comboed or attacked with unless your leader is a red Son Gohan superhero card. So your opponent's not going to be able to get rid of them until you choose to get rid of it, which is amazing. So with the Z extra card here, on your turn 2, you play this for 1 because you have charged an energy, charged the battle card previously into Z energy. Once you play the Gohan and Pan, on that, either on your turn 2, you don't want to attack on your turn 2. Just right off the bat, you don't want to attack when you first play the Son Gohan All Out Explosion. You want to wait until your turn 3, because on your turn 3, you can swing with it, and then EX Evolve on top of it with Son Gohan Ultimate Power of Legend. He is a 1-drop EX Evolve on top of the 3-cost Gohan. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, which they should by your turn 3, when this card is played, draw 1 card, switch this card to active mode, so you can swing with it again, and then play up to 1 Piccolo Bestowed Power from your deck with its skills negated for the turn. Then shuffle your deck. You play the 15k Piccolo Bestowed Power. When this card is played, you don't get any of its abilities if you play it from the Gohan, but if you play it normally for the 1 red, if you have 3 or more energy and your opponent has a red Pan, it's each card in play. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 20k power. Amazing. Now, the final power with Battle of the Red Ribbon Army. Place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck and remove this card from the game. When your Piccolo Bestowed Power is played, add up to 1 Piccolo Power Beyond Awakening from your deck to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So, you play this Piccolo off the Gohan. You then bring this Piccolo to your hand, which is a 1-cost EX Evolve, 20k. When this card is played, draw 1, switch this card to active mode, so swing with your Piccolo blocker, and it restands with this Evolve, and it gets 5k power for the turn. So you're drawing cards, you're off the Gohan and Piccolo, you're getting the 5k boost, so now it can swing again for 25k, and then your leaders restands at the end of turn. And then finally, it's activate main. If you have a Son Gohan Beast Roar in play, switch this card to rest mode. Your opponent cannot activate blocker for the turn. Nutty. Because your boss monster in this deck is Son Gohan Beast Roar. It is a 30k dual attack. If it has a limit 1 auto, if you have a special beam cannon inherited power in your battle area, which we'll get to that, and this card is attacking when your opponent activates a counter skill, choose it to 1 of your opponent's leaders and it gets minus 5k power for the turn. With that power, basically you swing in after using Piccolo's ability. Your opponent can activate blocker. They only can either take the attack or they can negate it, but then their leader's going to be down 5k for the turn. You can play this for 2 red energy during activate main. If your leader is a red Saiyan card and you have 4 or more energy, so it can be used in any red Saiyan deck, play this card from your hand, choose it to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 30k power for the turn. So you're constantly KOing things with this deck. It's so good. But anyway, all you have to do is block with Piccolo once. At the end of your turn, you will be able to Z-Awaken, go down to 4 life, which in most cases, I don't take life in this deck. I'm the one taking my own life in this deck. You awaken into Son Gohan, awakening to Beast. I wish it was awakening to the Beast, but you know, Little minor gripe there. 20k double strike on the Z leader. You can also pay 2 Z energy and 2 red energy to play it. Oh, sorry, to Z awaken if you have 3 or less life. But the normal ability to Z awaken is much better. When this card is played, if you place 1 Z energy in your drop, place it to 1 special beam cannon inherited power from your Z deck and your battle area. So when you play this, you drop a Z energy, you get to play the Z extra card, which is amazing. When this card attacks, draw 1. At the end of your turn, choose all of your red Piccolo superhero cards and add them, and switch them back to active mode. So, if you have a lot of Piccolos on board, you got a wall of big green defense, which is awesome. So, the special beam cannon, inherited power. Activate battle for 1 red. If your red Son Gohan superhero card is attacking and you remove this card from the game, choose it to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with 35k power or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So essentially, they're getting rid of almost anything. Choose up to 1 of your red Gohan superhero Z leaders. It gets 20k power for the battle, then remove it from the game at the end of the turn. So you get a big 20k boost, but then you lose the Z leader. Or you can choose it to 1 of your red Son Gohan superhero cards with original power of 30k or more, and it gets plus 15k power and double strike for the battle. So that's your 8-drop Beast Gohan. So regardless of what you do, you can either buff up your Z leader, which is already a double strike, being a 40k double, or you can make your 8-drop battle card 45k and double strike for the battle. You get a lot of value there. It's amazing. Pan, gonna go over some of the other cards here because I kind of started at Gohan and then kind of went all over the place. When this card is played, you draw 1, basic. Pan, determine young girl. When you play this card, you look at the top 5 and grab a superhero card with a battle card with a cost of 5 or less and has superhero in its character name. That's your searcher. We already looked over the Piccolo. This Piccolo here, I'm kind of messing with it, may take it out. This is essentially 1-drop blocker. If your opponent has a red Pan superhero card in play this card from your hand for 1 red energy. It's a 10k blocker. When this card attacks, you can use 1 Saiyan or Earthling card, both mono red with a 5k combo power from your drop in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. You're seeing this on a lot of low to the ground cards nowadays. And then one of the last new cards, Focus Barrage. Just running, how many am I running in this too? Essentially, it's a 4-drop. For each of your battle cards with superhero in its character name, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 1. So as far as I know, you can have multiple Gohans, multiple Piccolos, and they still count towards this. Activate main, limit 1. If your leader is a red Gohan superhero card, draw 1 card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 30k power for the turn. Being able to play this for 1 energy would be absolutely ridiculous. And then finally, with the last new card, second to last new card, I'm playing 1 copy of Cell Max Advent of Despair in the Z deck. It's a barrier blocker, 20k power. When this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 15k power for the turn. And it's auto once per turn. If it's your turn, when one of your card skills reduces a card's power to 0 or less, switch this card to active mode. This deck does that easily. So, finally, I am running the new secret rare, Bursting Rage. This card really is only good for decks that have a decent Z leader. And this card is really good in this deck, in my opinion, because it can be used for offensive or defensive purposes. It is a 0-cost card. Activate battle, draw 1, choose it to 1 of your leaders with its back face up, place it to 1 of your Z leaders from your deck with 20k power or less, and exactly the same color and character name as the chosen card on top of your leader. Then choose it to 1 of your leaders, it gets plus 20k power for the battle. Additionally, if your leader is a Z leader, your opponent cannot attack with essentially your opponent's battle cards and unisons can attack for the turn if they have 25k power or more, and then you remove your Z leader from the game at the end of your turn. This card is not great. I thought it was really good at first, but it really isn't. You're almost always going to be on your Z leader for this deck, so being able to Z awaken with it doesn't ever come up. But if your opponent's swinging with a lot of cards, being able to make your leader an additional 20k power just to survive the turn is really good. Sure, you're going to go back to your normal leader, but it can be pretty good and act as a decent floodgate. Beyond that, you can use this offensively to draw one for free and then give your leader an additional 20k on swing if you're going in for that game-winning attack, especially since your leader is double strike. If your opponent's down to 2 life, this would be a great way to win. That is essentially how I won tonight. Against one of my buddies, I threw this on my 20k double strike Z leader and then used the inherited power special beam cannon to give my leader an additional 20k. So he was swinging in for 60k double strike. It was neat. So basically, how you want to play this deck is turn one, you want to play one of these pans. That's your ultimate goal. Either draw one or search the top 5 for a superhero card. During your opponent's turn, when they swing in at you, you want to combo the pan, put it to Z energy. Your turn. You will play Battle with the Red Ribbon Army to grab your 3-drop Gohan and play another pan onto your opponent's board. You will be able to then awaken with your leader. You'll go down to 6 life, draw essentially 4 cards. Then you'll swing with your leader, pass turn. During your opponent's turn, just try to be defensive if you can, charge up some Z energy. Then on your turn, again on your turn 3, you'll play the Son Gohan Ultimate Power of Legend, which will then play your Piccolo Bestowed Power. And then we'll trigger Battle with the Red Ribbon Army to grab Power Beyond Awakening from your deck. You'll swing in... You'll swing in with a 3 cost, then awaken, then play the Piccolo. You're going to swing in with these guys, evolve a Piccolo Bestowed Power into Power Beyond Awakening, swing with that, swing with leader, and then you leave 1 energy open. You're going to want that for cards like King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. For defensive purposes, Unending Awakening is incredible in this deck, being able to give your Saiyan leader 5k power for the duration of the turn. Absolutely goated. You know what? I just realized I'm just going to move this over here. I'm so sorry. But then we have things like Trunks Delusion Power as extra buff. You have Goten as extra support later on during the game, being a 1-cost 15k body that draws you 1 and it's a double strike. You have your Son Gohan defeating the demon because you're going to charge a lot of Z energy in this deck. After all that, you'll restand your Piccolo. Your opponent attacks you, and then you'll block with this Piccolo. Or if they KO with a skill, it'll work eventually. So then, at the end of your turn, you'll Z Awaken. You'll play the Inherited Power, and then you'll start pressing face. You'll definitely want to get your A-drop on board. And at that point, you're just swinging in double strikes, dual attacks, all giant bodies while nerfing your opponent's board with minus powers. It's really good. It's really fun. Some other fun tech cards. Videl, Daughter of the World Champ in the Z deck. It's a 1-cost 2 Z energy, unique if there are 1 or more red Earthling cards in your Z energy, which there typically are because a lot of Pans and Gohans. When this card attacks, shoots it to one of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less and KO it. With how much you're negging your opponent's cards, that's going to be pretty easy. And then this card gets 10k power for the turn, so it essentially becomes a 15k swinger. And of course, you got Rush Attack Vegeta because it's busted as hell. So that is my deck that I've been running so far. Of course, I'm still tweaking it. I'm still trying to figure some ratios out. But the deck is really neat. The only problem is that decks with defense, like with I played Janeba Mill tonight, and a lot of those defensive cards really put a stop to your early aggression. And comparing it to the superhero deck from set 19, the blue one, to be honest, I still think the blue one is better. But this is still early. We don't know how the meta will update or change. So that could change completely, and the red will be the better card. It's weird to think blue's version of Gohan Superhero would be more aggro than the red version, but hey, that's what I've gotten to so far. Let me know what you think about the deck profile and the archetype in general for Gohan Superhero in set 22 Critical Blow. Let me know if there's some cards that I'm missing here. This is just the first draft, like I said. If you got some sweet tech, let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you on the next episode. Take care.